protecting Main Street from Wall Street. It's Chris Hoffman with Money Unleashed.
How much money do you put into your checking account from work on a month-to-month basis? It has a high probability that with your investable assets, we can replace that paycheck.
It's time to put you back in control of your money.
You've worked for 35 years. It's time for you to not stress. It's time for you to enjoy and live the retirement you want to live.
It's Money Unleashed with Chris Hoffman.
Welcome into the Money Unleashed podcast with Chris Hoffman of the Hoffman Financial Group. New episodes come your way on Mondays and Fridays, so make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. With that said, we're excited to share with you another great discussion here today. You may have heard this old saying, why put off till tomorrow what you can do today? And when it comes to calling it a career, nearly 1 in 4 Americans over 50 are delaying retirement due to economic concerns. That's according to a new survey from F&G Annuities and Life, and it polled 2,000 U.S. adults over the age of 50 to collect this data just this month. To be exact, 23% of those polled have already decided to delay their retirement as they grapple with questions about their financial readiness, which is up from 14% this time a year ago. So, Chris, I guess I'll start with this and ask you very simply, what do you think is contributing to a jump like that?
Yeah, I wonder if it's the Gen X pool of people that basically were born under the 401k kind of umbrella and forced into that, and we're seeing more and more pension opportunities disappear.
Yeah.
And now everything's at risk. And that number shouldn't have gone from 14% all the way up to 23%.
Yeah.
So it's not just the Gen X generation and losing these pensions, which has been going on for decades now. I think this points to political and economic uncertainty. Nobody likes uncertainty. Nobody likes the chance of something happening. They want guarantees. So regardless of whether you're a Democrat or Republican, if that president is, here's what we're doing, it's been done before, we're going to repeat a pattern or go back to this methodology, the markets can predict that. What the Trump administration has done, and now with these wars that are going on as well, it's getting a little bit uncertain. And that rattles the market. It has not taken the market down. The market has reached all-time highs this year. But then you get the constant threat of tariffs kicking off August 1st, et cetera. So I think there's just a lot of uncertainty with people around, if I retire today, I have a bucket of money, right? They're still focused on the wrong number. That number being, how much is my net worth?
Yeah.
Am I worth $1 million? Worth 1.2, 1.5? Am I only worth $500,000? Or I say only. I like $500,000 only, right?
Good chunk of money.
But with inflation, so $500,000, 750, whatever my number is, I think folks look at that number and they get paralyzed. Then they open up their 401k and try to get an income statement out of your 401k is virtually impossible.
Right.
And they don't offer good, balanced, I think, diversified income strategies. So you've got to take action and engage somebody in this process of determining, where do I stand as far as my retirement? What probability do I have statistically in living my best life, not running out of money, being able to sustain the expense levels that I'm accustomed to? But if people haven't taken that action and you're managing it yourself, you're staring at a 401k statement that gives you no guidance, no planning, no understanding, really. They don't do an assessment of their own funds and your portfolio and benchmark it against anything. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there on what does it take to retire in today's world. And we obviously know it, and that's what we do here at Hoffman Financial Group. But there are basically 3 steps. You have to know where you are in depth. You have to know what your financial assets and financial life can do for you standalone, not including a paycheck from your employer.
Yeah.
So all of my financial assets, and that's not just what's in the bank. It's not just what's in your advisory accounts. It's not just what's in Social Security. It's everything. Every aspect of your financial life that you've built up over the last 30 plus years. Now we need to determine what that can generate for you from a highly reliable or guaranteed income stream for the rest of your life. That's step number 2. And in that, we also need to analyze taxes. How is your money placed? What type of accounts do you have? What's going to be the tax ramifications when you start to distribute that money to you? So that's step number 2. Then step number 3 is you need a full financial written plan. It's got to be a holistic plan that takes into effect diversification, income strategies, growth strategies, protection. Those types of things are extremely important, and then you map it out year over year over year. You include inflationary numbers in there. You have tax strategies built in, and it shows you the tax calculations. All of that needs to come together. So it's a 3-step process with anybody that calls in to the Hoffman Financial Group that we walk them through. The good news is we do all the work.
Yeah.
You don't have to come in and sit with somebody while they grind through paperwork or grind through proposals or grind through software analysis tools, et cetera, or financial planning tools. When you're at home, we're doing all that for you. When you're at work, we're doing all that for you. Then you come in for your appointment and you get it in bite-sized pieces. The first piece you would get is a complete X-ray, portfolio X-ray of all of your assets and how they're positioned, risk profiles, target growth, actual growth against benchmarks, et cetera. Then if you want to take the next step, you would come in and get your full income report with tax strategies. Then last but not least, if you wanted us to push it to the third step, then we would prepare a full financial plan. All of that in writing, you get a copy of it, and it's free, which is the best part.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
So that is one of the things that with this jump from 14% to 23%, we might be seeing a crossover in the Gen Xers losing confidence in Social Security, B, not having pensions, and C, not being invested for income.
Yeah. That's
a high likelihood scenario of why people's fear in their readiness to retire has gone up 9%, I think. Yeah, 9%. I mean, that's a huge number. That was 40% increase in how many people aren't feeling ready for retirement. That could be because of the Gen X generation. It could also be because of the political landscape and the uncertainty with some of the big economic policies like tariffs.
Yeah, and maybe somebody's driving around right now listening to Money Unleashed and is kind of feeling like they're in this boat. 50% cited the financial uncertainties or economic volatility, things we've seen this year, as a reason to maybe delay that retirement. 44% said they're worried about inflation. I think you just covered that. And 34% indicated they're just worried about a recession or stock market downturn. Again, things we cannot necessarily control, but things that we can plan for. So we don't like to present problems on this show without talking about the solutions. But one of the main issues many are facing, particularly those in Gen X, as you brought up, is feeling behind on their savings. A Prudential survey found the median savings of 55-year-olds is just $50,000. Now, again, that's not nothing, but they don't necessarily feel like they're on track. So, Chris, 55 may not be the late innings in planning for retirement, but it can get late early if you don't take the proper steps to prepare, because that 401k, as we talk about so many times, it may be called a plan by your employer, but it's not that full financial plan.
Yeah, and let me not only emphasize that it's not a full financial plan, it's not a good investment strategy. Look at it. It's not, it's out there for people to take advantage of, but now you're leaving it up to millions of individuals to be prudent enough, knowledgeable enough, disciplined enough to contribute to their 401k. And this statistic here screams that we have failed in that quest miserably. The median savings of 55-year-olds is just $50,000. So, I mean, I know we've got some other substantially dysfunctional occurrences going on in the way Americans are forced to live, one of them being college expenses. Yeah. Is it student debt that's paralyzing these folks, and they're so indebted when they graduate from college, and then their first mortgage, and if they have to lease a car? I understand that in your 20s. Is it a problem now that's plaguing people in their 50s?
Yeah.
When they finally pay off their debt or the most of their debt, are they like, I finally get to keep some of this money to spend it on me? Is it expectations, right? Everybody's got a bigger house, a nicer car, a newer this. Kids are going to private school. There's so much pressure on the investment community to deliver on their day-to-day life. They're not delivering on the last 30-plus years of their life, which is financial security and retirement. The follow-up for this, folks, is if you're 55 and you're looking at your portfolio saying, all right, I got more than $50,000, but I'm nervous. Don't wait. Don't assume that you're going to work until 65. Don't assume that you're going to work later than that. You need to know. You need to find out by getting the study done. And we start with something as simple as the portfolio x-ray to just assess how are you doing, what are you contributing to, how is it being matched, how is it growing versus benchmarks. If we can get that fixed and get you on a higher trajectory from a growth standpoint, that may solve a lot of your ailments between whatever age you are in your 50s until you're 60. So that would be my recommendation. Call us at 404-341-6767 or go to unleashyourmoney.com. You can click on the Portfolio X-ray or 401k X-ray button there, and we'll get started. We'll do the work. You reap the rewards. We'll show it to you. We'll give you a copy of it for free.
Yeah, sounds like the roadmap, but you need to know where you are on that map in order to get where you want to go. That Portfolio X-ray, again, no cost whatsoever. To get yours, all it'll take is that phone call to set up your time to speak with Hoffman Financial Group at 404-341-6767. That's 404-341-6767, or sign up at unleashyourmoney.com. You can click on that Portfolio X-ray box right there. Chris Hoffman is an investment advisor representative of Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor and affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and Hoffman Financial Group are affiliated under common ownership. Registered investment advisors and investment advisor representatives act as fiduciaries for all of our investment management clients. We have an obligation to act in the best interest of our clients and to make full disclosures of any conflicts of interest. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV 2A, page 4, for additional information. The Hoffman Financial Group and WSB are not affiliated. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. This information should not be considered tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a professional specializing in the field of tax, legal, accounting, or investments regarding the applicability of this information for their situation. Any client experiences discussed during the show are unique to that client. They are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments will fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Any comments regarding safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims-paying ability of the issuing company and are not offered by Brookstone. Index or fixed annuities are not designed for short-term investments and may be subject to caps, restrictions, fees, and surrender charges as described in the annuity contract. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV 2A, item 4, for additional information. Hoffman Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Insurance licensed in Georgia, number 163546.